When you multitask, you might think you achieve more, but actually you're missing a lot more. When you multitask, you might go through life, but you're for sure not living life in the fullest. As a person that used to do a lot of multitasking, or mainly multitasking, I'm still working on it, for sure in a different place. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, and if it didn't happen to you today, maybe a few days ago, or it did happen to you today, that you try to do a few things at the same time. Now, when we do a few things at the same time, we're missing the quality of each thing. What am I talking about? So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but just in case, if you're not a multitasker, congratulations, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about to whoever over there that is, which is probably most of the people. I remember talking to my friend, and we were going through a whole conversation. And when I talk to my friends face to face, I try to put the phone aside and be present with them. Of course, it doesn't always work, but when it doesn't, so I try again. But when I talk to them on the phone, sometimes it's, there are so many things to do. An email comes in, a text comes in, and I used to see that my focus is not really with them. So they might be talking with me on the phone, but I'm doing like a lot of different things. Now, thank God today I'm in a different place. Of course, still have where to improve. But I remember really specifically a certain conversation, I think it was like 2 years ago, that my friend was talking to me about really important things that he's going through in life. And I was listening, I was able to repeat it, but I wasn't really there with him. I wasn't really showing the empathy I'm able to give him, to provide him. I wasn't really providing him with the strength I could give him through just deep listening and active listening. I was listening and, from time to time saying a word, basically showing that I'm there, but I wasn't really there. I was multitasking and I was doing a lot of other things. A different friend of mine, I was helping him to go through a challenge. And we started talking about multitasking, about the challenges of these days, that we have so many things on our mind and we have so many tasks to do and there's no time, so we have to multitask. And then he came up to me and he said, you also multitask a lot, right? Like you have to, otherwise you won't be up with the schedule. So I told him, of course I do, and a lot less than what I used to do. I'm really working on it to reduce that multitasking and basically shift it into something else, which is totally different. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then he asked me, what do you think about it? So I told him, personally, I'm talking about myself. When I multitask, I might go through life, I might exist through life, but I'm not living life. Because whatever I do, I'm not really feeling it, I'm not really present, and I'm not getting out the most out of that situation. Whatever it is, whether it's a conversation, whether it's sport, whether it's eating something. You try to eat at the same time, answer your email, at the same time listen to a friend on your phone. You're really wasting amazing opportunities that life is bringing you, to just be aware with them. And it's not only that, it could be like we said, when you eat. I remember once I decided to eat breakfast with nothing next to me. Not only to eat that breakfast with nothing next to me, also to be aware of it. That way I'm also not multitasking and I'm also aware of the taste, of the smell. And that was an amazing breakfast. Now I have that type of breakfast a lot, but I'm never really aware of it, and I'm always doing a few things at the same time. So put multitasking aside. It's not something that would help you. Not only that it's not helping you, you're missing out so much in life. Not only in the enjoyments of life, but also in the challenges of life. When you're not totally in that challenge, you might be missing a lot of details. When you're missing a lot of details, you might get yourself into pretty big trouble. So what should you do instead of multitasking? Because as we all know, there are many things to do in this life, and everyone's always busy, and there are always, all these notifications that come on, and everyone wants your time. So what is the act you should do that can provide you more time, provide your mind more calmness, more relaxation, but it's not multitasking? That thing is pretty simple. It's called time blocks. Now, Time blocks can divide into different type of time blocks. Each person should do whatever's best for them. But I could tell you that, let's say I have a few different things I do every day. Let's say 5, 6 things that have nothing to do with each other. Personally, what I prefer to do is basically I block a time in the calendar. Okay, so I know in the morning I do, let's say it would be my sports. Later on in the morning, I'll do one type of job. About the afternoon, I have a different area of work that I'm really focused over there. And then in the evening, I have other things that I do. So each thing has its time block that time block is focused for that. I'm not doing other things at that time, at least trying not to. So when I'm focused on that time, I know that that time is right now going to be only this type of work, or only relationship, or only learning time. I know that's time that I know that's a time that is devoted for that. Now you're probably asking yourself, but yeah, there's so many times in life that things happen and we need to reschedule. Yeah, probably, that's life. Life is unexpected. That's why it's interesting. Also, then you could be flexible. What do you mean you could? I mean, you need to be flexible. Also, then you need to be flexible and you play around with your schedule, with your time, move it a little bit here, a little bit there. But having those time blocks can really help you achieve a lot more and less time. When you put something in a time block and you're focused on that thing, you'll achieve a lot more, rather than just, walking around the office doing whatever comes up in your mind. Now, in those time blocks, okay, you want to shorten it into short times of about 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Some people could also do an hour and then walk up, move a little bit. Anyways, sitting down too much is not good. But in order to get the most out of those time blocks, cut them down into about half an hour each one, and then a few minutes, a little bit of movement, stretching. Those are things that are always important for you. Another way to do those time blocks is if you time block days. So a day that you're going on a date with your loved one, a day that you're focused on learning, a day for your business that you're trying to focus on how to grow your income, a day that you want to focus on all the paperwork. So each day is something else. That way your energy for that day, towards what it's going to be focused. Some people prefer it that way. They want to have a day for each thing. Amazing. As I say, you do you, I do me. But the idea is those time blocks. Again, it could be a day of a time block. And also in that day, you'll want to have time blocks, okay? Maybe it's only for that specific thing. But have time blocks to be refreshed. And if you don't want to do it by days, you could do it every day. Have it, like I said, divided into 2 or into 3, whatever you're doing in those time blocks. Again, when I'm multitasking, I'm missing so much out of life. Now, even if you have plenty of things to do in life, and I know how it is, believe me, I used to work 20 hours a day, those time blocks are a must, but there's something that is even more crucial than those time blocks. And I'm telling you, if you right now you have in your mind that you have to multitask, enjoy, but you don't have to, you could be focused every time on one thing, and you'll achieve a lot more. That thing that is way more important than time blocks is getting the right amount of sleep. If you do not get that sleep, it doesn't really matter if you did daily time blocks or each day was divided into a few different parts. When you don't get enough of sleep, you won't be focused, you'll be a lot more aggravated, you'll respond less quickly and less clear. There are many disadvantages of not getting that sleep. So first get that sleep, and after that do those time blocks, whether it's daily time blocks or each day dividing into a few different parts. But get that sleep is really important. You're going to have a video below connecting you to a video talking about sleep and the importance of that. But again, what's the one thing that is important for you in life that you realize you're multitasking in that area? Is that a conversation with your loved one? Is it the time that you have for yourself that you realize you're doing a few other things? Is it your breakfast that you're not enjoying it and doing 10 things at the same time? Whatever it is, choose one thing. That one thing, be focused on. Don't try it now to change everything. It won't work. Change that one thing, and after change another thing that you'll be focused, and another until you create those focus blocks. Wish you the best. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.